Israeli forces withdrew from Kamal Adwan Hospital in Beit Lahia on Saturday after a prolonged siege, leaving significant damage in one of the area's last remaining medical facilities. Local authorities reported that overnight strikes on the city resulted in at least 30 fatalities. The Israeli Defense Forces, IDF, stormed the hospital last week amid a continued offensive in northern Gaza, which the United Nations Human Rights Chief, Volker Turk, labeled as one of the conflict's darkest moments. Outside the hospital, Israeli airstrikes destroyed multiple houses in the Al-Khazan neighborhood of Beit Lahia. Dr. Munir Abdullah al-Bursh, Director General of Gaza's Ministry of Health, stated that the strikes on residential buildings buried many individuals, alleging that the IDF fired at rescue teams as they attempted to assist those trapped. Al-Bursh reported that residents were forced to dig for survivors with their bare hands, urging anyone with injured individuals to transport them to the nearest hospital by any means possible. According to Gaza's health ministry, hundreds of patients, medical staff, and displaced Palestinians had been detained by Israeli forces, leaving only 3 doctors available to work at the hospital on Saturday. World Health Organization Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus described the situation as catastrophic, highlighting the lack of staff to care for nearly 200 patients. He condemned the damage and destruction of health facilities and medical supplies during the siege. Kamal Adwan is one of only 3 hospitals still attempting to operate in the region. The IDF stated that its operations were based on intelligence regarding the presence of terrorist infrastructure and claimed to have facilitated the evacuation of patients. However, they did not address the detention of health workers. The IDF referred to the overnight bombings in Beit Lahia as precise strikes, targeting Hamas infrastructure and militants, though Update Hub News has been unable to independently verify these claims. Last week, the local health ministry reported that at least 87 people had been killed in Israeli strikes on residential areas in Beit Lahia. The recent attacks come after weeks of intense bombardment in northern Gaza, where hospitals and refugee camps have been surrounded, forcing tens of thousands of Palestinians to flee amid concerns of a targeted starvation campaign. Joyce Mzuya, UN Acting Undersecretary General for Humanitarian Affairs, warned that the entire population of northern Gaza is at risk of dying. Since the onset of Israel's offensive following the October 7th attack by Hamas militants, which resulted in approximately 1,200 deaths and 250 kidnappings in southern Israel, more than 42,000 people have reportedly died in Gaza, with nearly 100,000 injured. During a recent meeting in London, Jordan's Foreign Minister Ayman Safadi confronted U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, asserting that Israel was ethnically cleansing Palestinians from Gaza and insisting that it has got to stop.